Hi Brian, we've had a real good go at yours now, and everything's been steam cleaned, and I'm part way through stripping the chassis. It's been a real fighter, this one, all the way so far. Everything has been tight as tight can be, or rusted in or whatever. Haven't had to use any heat as yet, but it has all been a bit of an uphill struggle. But you know, notwithstanding, we're getting on pretty well. So all the rear end is out. Trailing arms, they came out with a bit of a battle, but they did come out, so that was all for the good. Differential is out, and I'll just quickly run through our findings up to now. The odd thing is that the body has definitely been off the car before, albeit a fairly half-assed sort of job, but you know, it's had a body off of some sort in the past, because everything is, I think, like I said to you on the video yesterday, everything is blacked, and now it's all been steam cleaned. You can see it's been reasonably recently gone over with that, I guess, with that Poor 15 stuff. And it looks to me like it's been one of these, you know, body lifted off the chassis 6 inches kind of thing. I might be wrong, but who knows? But it's definitely been off, because everything is too fresh looking. All the body mount, the aluminum body mount spacers were all very new, but all the bolts were crappy. So it's just a bit odd, you know. First thing, the differential, I think, has been apart to a certain extent. Whether it's been rebuilt or not, I don't know. We'll take the back cover off and have a look in there. But I tell you, it is monstrously tight. You know, you go to rotate this and you can barely turn it. And I'm as strong as an ox, and it really is a tough bloody thing to turn. I think it might be prudent, whilst it's out, to have our guys look at that and give that a freshen up and put a new clutch pack and bearing kit in there. I wonder if it's been assembled and not set up properly. Don't know, but that's how it feels. You know, it's got that feel about it. Trailing arms are out. This one here, this is the left hand, so driver's side, and it's in a real mess. It's been welded at these back ends, because they're normally just 2 layers, they're not normally welded like this, so that's been welded there. It's also, I guess, had the handbrake piece broken off it, the little bracket for the handbrake broken off it and re-welded on, because the welding is way too untidy even for GM. It's rotten at the top just here, you can see those holes, and it's also really mangled. I think someone's had a go at getting this out before, and instead of undoing the bolt, has just beaten the living hell out of it, because it's dented here. You know, if you sight down it, you can see it's got a kink in there, it's got a kink up here, so it's all over the shop. So that will definitely get replaced. I thought we were going to have to replace these anyway, just through rust and rot and what have you. And look all in here, that's rust in there, that's rust in there, that's rust in there, and when you look inside, I don't know, you won't see it because of the yoke, I guess, but normally there's just 2 skins of metal that are, you know, reasonably thin, but they're spread apart so much that it's the thickness of this thickness of the flange there. The other one's even worse. That's got a whole bunch of something in the bottom of it here, which is bad. I tried to get the spindle out. I was really struggling to get this arm out, and also to get the strut rod out as well. So I tried knocking the spindle out in the car, but it won't come, so I did manage to get the trailing arm out in the end, and I'll get it in the vise and have a go then. I'll also try and get that strut rod out. I don't want to use any heat, because they're polyurethane bushings and they're good, so these will go again. They just want cleaning and painting, and if I get heat on there, I think it'll knacker the bushing. So I'm trying to avoid that if we can. I'm not sure, these are aftermarket strut rods, and I'm not 100% sure whether the standard aftermarket polyurethane bushes will actually fit that rod or not, or whether it takes a larger bush. So I'm reluctant to get any heat on there, but you know, I mean, you can see I've got the proper knocking tool on there and on the spindle to get them out, and they're not budging. Drive shafts are out, they're there. Your pile of sandblasting stuff is here. I think I'm going to send the diff cross member, this one here, but I've got a feeling we're going to replace it. It looks really beaten up, and it's got that sort of hollow sound like rotten bad metal has. Shock absorbers, one has, I compressed them both to check them, and one has bounced back and one hasn't, so I think they'll get renewed. Calipers we'll discuss, we'll either re-kit or replace. That one looks quite recent, the other one looks older. I don't like re-kitting personally, as I said to you, but it seems probably a bit darsy. If you've got the kits, you've got the pistons and everything, we may as well go that route, but I don't know, we'll see. Round this side on the chassis is, you can see in here now, right in, you can't see because of my hand, can you, but right in there's a hole all the way down through that cross member, and this is the problem. It's all this muck and what have you that blocks up these drain holes here and stops any water from coming out. And you can see, look, the two skins of this trailing arm pocket, they're split apart half an inch, I guess, with rust and this is all rust and shale and crap in there, and the same up in here and in here. And you can see really clearly now this plate shouldn't be this far in. It's either the plate is too far in or this has had metal put on it and it is too long. It's all a bit of a mess though. I'm still thinking that replacement is the way to go. What else? Caliper down there, disc, they'll want cleaning. Your front cross member is here. This bolt was seized in there, so I'll get some heat on that. But I want to get the chassis stripped first, so we'll deal with all that. That's one that is waiting for the body to go back on, so that's all done now. That's a 68, and that's had basically the same as you're having. This has had a replacement frame, cleaned and painted the engine and manifolds and what have you, and we've put a 5-speed Trebek transmission in there. So this is basically what you'll wind up with, is nice new fuel lines and brake lines, everything rebushed, everything rebuilt, all done properly and very nicely. This also had a new training arm in one side and an original rebuilt training arm on the other side. We rebuilt the arms here, all new disc backing plates and this, that and the other. I've got your engine and transmission over here, waiting patiently for the big clean-up. So I got those out last thing last night, and there's your body sat there on our dolly now. Waiting. They look kind of weird off the car, don't they? Look a bit like a spaceship. Yeah. And there's the front end. Just waiting. I'll do that tomorrow. So you're coming up tomorrow, so I'll show you all this anyway, but I thought I'd just get a little bit for posterity. I'll give you a quick whiz round the shop. We're a bit of a mess at the moment because we're just so busy, but we do try and keep it reasonably clean. There's a 72 that's waiting for a bit of body work, and then the body can go back on there. Our 56 that we've got for sale up on the hoist, and a spare or an old chassis that is kind of beyond repair, but we'll use it for repair sections for anything else. Got a 66 coupe on the ramp there that's very nearly finished. That's had a repaint and a load of body work and what have you. New carpet set and re-chromed, and that's all going back together. So that's nice. Got a 79 that we're either going to sell as a project or break. It's got a very, very rotten chassis, and we were going to part it out, but it does seem a shame, so I'll try see if anybody's interested in that as a project. I'm a bit nervous about selling stuff like that though, because you know in a year's time is it going to reappear with a load of filler in the chassis and catch some poor bugger out. This is the red 68. That's the one for the chassis I've just shown you. We've got some body repairs to do on that, and then strip the paint, and then that will go back on. Your rear end. 68 chassis. You've got a 63 there that's waiting to get into the system. That arrived couple of weeks ago. I'm waiting to get it on a ramp and have a look-see. And then a 70 coupe, the chassis for the 72 big block car that I was just showing you, the black one, and another 70 Roadster there waiting for bits and pieces. So we've got stuff everywhere at the moment. And there's another 72 in the fiberglass booth that I'm putting a rear light panel in. I'll tell you, it is all go all the time. But there you are. I'll see you tomorrow, and you can see what we've done. It's all coming on, and you know, going quite well. So don't be too despondent. I'll speak soon. Cheers.